cool. Hi guys. A lot of you already seen the warm up, so this will be interesting. Yeah, so I'm Callum. I'm AJ's substitute. Unfortunately, AJ couldn't be here today, which kind of sucks, but oh well. I'm here. You guys get to all be treated to me. So I'll be doing a blacksmithing demonstration apparently. I think I'll just forge a coat hook with a decorative, with a decorative leaf on the end of the hook, so you don't spike through your coats when you put them on the hook. That'll be the plan. So there'll be kind of a couple stages. We'll be upsetting we'll start by upsetting the rod. We'll have like this little bit of a dongle at the end for where the leaf's going to be. We're going to draw out the rod and then going to forge out the leaf, round the rod around, and then we'll flip it over, hot cut the end, flatten out and punch where the bit is going to go onto the wall. So there's about kind of 3 or 4 stages. I wasn't counting. It's nice and hot. When I start though, these tend to have a bit of a sharp edge, which can cause problems later if you don't address that right at the beginning. So I just take that off with the hammer. Health and safety first, people. And now I can start to draw out the end of it into a point. So at a high angle coming in. You're basically using the combination of the hammer at an angle and the anvil at an angle, and you're only ever really rotating 90 degrees. So we've got a little point on there now. It's getting cold, so reheat. Next thing we'll do is we'll separate where the leaf's going to be from where the stem's going to be, and we'll start drawing that stem out, tapering it down and giving it some length. We'll do that by just hanging it over the edge of the anvil and striking sort of half on, half off, so that you push the kind of this top of the steel down and you end up with a shoulder there, and we'll do that on 2 sides. Happy? I feel like you guys might want to come around that way now. That makes it easier. I don't have to face 180 degrees at once. So I'm just going to separate where the leaf is going to be. So it's probably taking about a 25. So we have that kind of dongle. Yeah, that's going to be our leaf, and you can see we've separated that. We've got our shoulder here. So now I'm going to forge out that stem. So I'm going to taper that stem down, and I'll give it some length. Also, just it'll look nicer too. So we'll start forging it down as a square. Then what will happen is once we've got it forged down to a nice taper as a square, I'll form the leaf. And then what I'll do is round off that square into first an octagon and then into sort of an approximation of a circle. Brilliant thing about gas forges is that you can just kind of like put stuff in them and sort of forget about them. And you come back and, oh, it's warm. When I saw it with coal forges, you'd have to be constantly poking them, cranking up, the air, managing the fire, which really sucked. Also, the neighbours didn't like it. That was the main reason I had to switch to gas. So I'm just going to start drawing out the stem. Just over the edge of the anvil. You kind of put in like little lumps into it, and then you forge them flat. So we started to forge out that taper. I'll make it a little bit longer, but that's almost where we want it.
Are there any questions at all for Callum?
Yeah, please, I'm running out of things to talk about.
Help! No? Okay.
No, keep on going. I would, but well, first I don't seem to have a wire brush. Second, I don't know. It tends to be, if you do it if you do maintain that, you can actually get a really nice finish. At the same time, you can also, I don't know. You can normally just do it. It's either you do it as you go along, or you don't do it at all, because otherwise you end up kind of forging the scale in. And I mean, the rough look is kind of in fashion nowadays, isn't it? So. That was a punch. Yeah. Punch fell off my anvil, that's cool. It's knocking down the corners. Right, that's pretty much where I want it for, so I'll get the end of it really hot and we'll form that leaf. Waiting things for things to warm up. Yeah, it's always the interesting bit, you know.
So maybe I have a question about the hammer you're using.
Oh yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Why is it such a big hammer and the shape that it is? Is that easy to use or anyone else would carry?
I like the hammer.
You like the hammer?
I don't know. You can do a lot with smaller hammers. You can do bigger hammers. It's more a strength thing when it comes to control. It's like, you should be using the hammer weight that you can comfortably control. As the hammers get bigger, the thing that becomes more difficult is being precise. And so when you have a good amount of strength, then you can use a quite large hammer to do quite a lot of quite delicate work. Whereas when you're just starting out, it tends to be better to use a very light hammer, because it teaches you a lot about, most of it is just about learning where to hit the steel, not how hard to hit the steel. The other thing about this hammer, which will be especially important for this next bit, is we've got this cross peen, which will be amazing, because what this cross peen does is it allows us to very carefully move steel in really only two directions. When you're hitting with this cross peen, it's sort of like squishing the steel out that way and that way. So that can give you a lot of control about where you want the steel to go. You can sort of get you can choose, what sort of shape you want to get. So we're coming up, this is plenty hot enough now, so we'll start forming this leaf. The way I'll do this, I'll just start hitting it, I'll just flatten it out a little bit, and then I want the leaf mainly to go sideways. So I'm going to use this cross peen. I'm just going to stretch out the side of the steel. So you can see with the cross peen, it's not getting much longer, but it is getting quite a lot wider. And it'll become more exaggerated as we get thinner. So we're starting to get there. We've still got a bit of way to go, but you can see how much wider that's getting with the cross peen. And we're just hitting the cross peen just sideways like that, either side of the sort of the centre, just to pull those. It's sort of, when you do it, it feels like you're pulling the cheeks out, just pulling the sides of the leaf out. The tricky thing is obviously keeping it symmetrical, which is always the problem. Might grab you on the hot cut in a second, Shea.
Sorry, what was that?
Might grab you on the hot cut, so when I hot cut it, I don't send it flying.
Do you want me to be striking or just holding it?
Just holding the end, so
Sounds good.
yeah.
Now or later?
Later. I'll round the stem, then we'll hot cut.
Well, you just call me over when you need me.
Yeah. There. Just finishing off this leaf. And just smoothing it off using the flat part of the hammer. And we have a little leaf formed at the end there. It's not super symmetrical, but she'll do for now. Next we're just going to round that stem. So we take that stem, we're going to forge in the corners to make an octagon, and then we're just going to forge kind of sporadically while twisting it around, and that approximates your circle. Don't you laugh, you know you do the same thing. Yeah. You get to octagon and you're like, too many corners now. Yeah. And then after that, after we've done that, I'll get Shea and we'll use this hot cut tool and we'll cut the end off so we can forge out the bit where we're attaching it to the wall. You might also want to grab some gloves because we're going to have to do some punching as well. Alright. So now's the time to address that stem. So, octagon. And then circly nonsense. The great thing about mild is it's still really soft even at a black heat. Do this with something like 01 and it just cracks. You crack the crap out of it. So we've got basically our circular stem. Close enough anyway. So the next step is I want to forge a place to attach this to the wall with, say, some screws. So I really need to flatten off a section here. I can't really do that with all this stuff attached to the end. So this is where Shea comes in. Shea and a hot cut tool, which is just this little thing. And we're just going to get it real hot and we're going to cut it off. Hence the name, hot cut, very creative.
We're seeing what we're doing.
Yes, Captain.
I might put a zoom on this because this is cool. I've only got one glove. I don't know where the other one goes.
One glove is all you need. Is it right or left-handed?
It's right-handed.
Oh, that's not useful. You're going to have to hold the punch.
Just gonna wrap it around this last just walk me through what I'm doing.
I just want you to, when
do you
I'm
want
hot
me to
cutting,
position?
just
Over here?
grabbing the end of the thing so it doesn't fly and kill someone.
Fly and kill someone?
Try and kill someone.
Yep, okay.
Yeah. One of those things.
One of those things.
Yeah. I think you get the message.
I get the message.
We'll see. We'll see in a second.
This is where it's all over.
Yeah.
Cool pause this one. It's all meant to fit tempo.
Oh yeah.
Mine's just baby. I don't have a
Health and safety.
Yeah, it's scoping in. I just want to hold on to the leaf best I can.
Yeah.
Okay,
Alright,
cool.
I'm just deciding where we're cutting it. Alright, about there.
Over there?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Can't see, can't have a look around.
Rotate. Rotate. Alright.
Yay! Wow. Okay, wheels.
Away!
Yeah, I can go in.
So this is where it gets annoying. I hate using tongs. Tongs suck. Thing you ever want them to do. Did our Australian friend make that one too?
Yeah.
Nice. Cool. Alright, now forging out the back of it. So probably starting from like here. I just want it to be super flat. So I've got this weird little lippy thing, which I might just grab the hot cut tool for. Get that looking nice. Alright, try to pull the hot cut tool out again.
I've got another question.
Yep.
What are the two holes in the anvil for?
The hot cut, well, the square ones for hardy tools, hot cut tools, that sort of thing. The other ones for other tools, but mainly just for punching. You can use it. So if any woodworkers out there, you know the little clampy things you stick in the dog holes of your workbench to hold down bits of wood. You can use a similar thing on the Pritchett holes, the sort of little round hole, to hold down a bit of steel. So if you're chiseling and you're only one guy,
Shea wasn't here.
because Shea wasn't here or didn't bring gloves. So I was trying to get that end bit kind of not so gnarly looking. Yeah. Should have brought a lot of things, Shea. There we go, that's not too bad. So I'm just going to forge that end bit out now into a flat piece. Again, using the end just to pull the sides out. Probably need some more length. As you can see, once you start not having a handle attached, things just start bending all over the place. And you've got to deal with these things as well. Tongs are no fun. They almost never do what you want them to do. They never hold the bit of steel. Picking stuff out of the forge is always a challenge. Sometimes you end up with them like this and you're trying to grab something and yeah. There's some difficulty with that because it's hard to get a good, it's hard to flatten it out properly when it's still attached to the bar. You basically got this long thing that tends to like flop around on the end. Alright, so they've got a nice little flat pit section now. So I'll grab Shea, and what we're going to do is we're going to punch 2 holes in there for a screw. No, 2 screws. It's difficult getting 1 screw through 2 holes. Yes.
What do I do?
You'll need to hold the punch because you brought a right-handed glove, didn't you?
Big punch. I'm sorry. I grabbed the wrong one. I was like,
Yeah.
no.
It's going to be a big hole.
Big hole. Otherwise, just think of it. No, I don't want to modify that.
That's your drill punch.
I know.
You silly boy.
I'm just waiting for Brent to give me a mask real quick.
Right, health and safety.
Health and safety. I had no mask and I was like, I need it. I just like cut that bit out and made my face not masked up.
So any questions? You want to slowly fading away, going to sleep? Pardon? 2? Well, I kind of started one already. Buy me a drink and we'll talk. I'll throw this one in for you. We're making 2 of them now, Shea.
You got orders. He's got
Yeah,
orders.
I got commissioned
You got commission.
in the last 30 seconds.
So my punching?
Okay, you're holding the punch because you've got the glove, don't you?
Yep.
Put the glove on. I want Avant.
Your hand.
Yeah, I'll just show you. Yeah, grab the punch. I want like a hole like that kind of like there and a hole there. Yep. Yep. It's a bit off centre, Shea. What are you doing?
Just flatten that off a bit. Go with the hole. That way?
Other way? That sounded good. That felt good. Yeah.
I think it's rounded a bit.
Yeah.
Just riveted in there.
Just yeah, grab that hold of that again and let's give it a good. There you go. There's 1 hole.
Yeah, one hole.
Oh, skip that.
So do you want to explain that whole process a bit more in detail?
Pardon?
Do you want to explain what we did there?
So, what we did there was a lot of sort of guesstimation.
Yeah, it was a bit off centre.
Because a bit Shea had not got the punch in the right point.
Like a slug.
I'm getting paid for this now. Shea brought the wrong punch. It's a big punch.
It's like a really big punch, not the right size.
Yeah, for a really big screw. So what we did was we started punching, and then we get to this point sort of halfway through where the steel on the other side becomes very thin and it cools quickly on the anvil. So at that point you flip it over and you start from the other side. And the idea is that when you start from the other side, you can actually kind of shear off that little bit of steel and you create what's called a plug. And then we got the plug kind of riveted in the middle of the hole, which is a whole, that's a whole situation. Just flattening it off before we start. Right, go.
Same side.
Yep. Yep. Oh look, that's actually more centered, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you. That slanted a bit. Go again.
It's probably because your punch is slanted.
Yeah, the punch is slanted.
Alright.
Flatten that guy off and then we throw it up.
Yep. So now we've gotten to the point where that steel's become sufficiently thin. So we're just gonna put it over the pritchel hole.
Yeah, okay.
And try to shear off that.
I think that was it.
Yep. So that bit of metal falls out of the centre and you end up with just a hole. I'll do the second one. I'll do the second one out after we're done.
Get someone else to do it.
Yeah, get someone. You could.
Okay.
Do you want to have a go?
Am I done now?
Yeah. No. Alright. So now we've done all that. We're just going to do a little bit of tidying up. Just find a rasp. I'll get rid of that little nubbin there. But we're just going to tidy that up and we're going to bend it to its final shape. Going to make it into a hook. So, just flattening that out. Yep. Oh, needs to be the other way around. I just need to bend it now. Bending is always sort of a whole deal. It's like never bends quite the way you want it to. And I don't have a vise, which will make it especially interesting. It's too heavy. Can't bring the right punches, can't bring more than one glove. You brought more than enough hammers though, I'll give you credit for that. And tongs. So normally you'd do this in a vise, but we don't have one of those, so we'll make do. It's got a bit of a twist in it, so getting that out is going to be a pain in the ass. What tongs do I want? Do you have the big box drawers, Shea?
Yeah, on the counter.
Oh. I love tongs. Yeah, it's better. I'm nearly there. I just need to bend that leaf into shape. This is why I have no hairs on my arm. Is not having hairs on the back of your hand, is that a sign of like insanity or something? What's that a sign of? Is it just diabetics? I don't know. It's a sign of being a blacksmith for sure. Right. How do I want to do this? Just trying to bend that leaf over a little bit, give it a nice shape. There we go. Do we have a bucket of water? Do we have a wire brush? Nope. We're well prepared. Alright, I'm going to fill up this bucket of water. Oh yeah, there is too. We're well prepared. It's different. I'll go dip it in the juice. Normally when you dip it in the water you can kind of blast all the scale off, which is nice.
Do you want me to fill that up?
Yeah. Would you mind?
Yeah, I don't mind.
Right. Half of my drink is nearly earned. Now to earn the other half. I've been doing this since I was about 12, so that's a number of years now, 7 years, so I'm not that old. Yeah.
Always something to learn, eh?
Always, oh, absolutely. Oh, oh yeah?
Yeah, I do all mine on cold forge.
Yeah. No, I used to be that. I used to use a coal forge, but it's I don't know. It's just when you start trying to make any money, it's just too much hassle, eh? Yeah.
I'm not making any money. I just make
Fair enough.
Yeah. No, it's starting to get a little bit more revived.
Yeah. Oh no, there's definitely been a
It's
renaissance.
very hard to learn from an old blacksmith nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've started making one of these, but I just can't be bothered. I just hold on to coal.
Yeah. Yeah. Might as well finish this one off. And we're pretty much done here, Shea, if you want to...
Yeah?
Yeah. Right, that was pretty much me. I bored you to death for at least half an hour, I suspect. Any questions about, I don't know, equipment or anything? This one? Pardon? I normally use a larger one back at home. I mean, this one's fine for most stuff. This is 60 kilograms. Yeah, we've just got a 125 kilogram one, eh, Shea? Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, when you're starting, you can use, anvil weight only comes into play when you really start to do